Welcome to the I-25 University Project Update. I'm Dave Gallus, and I'll be your moderator for this meeting, which concerns Interstate 25 and University Avenue. Today is December 5th, 2019. If you're watching tonight, we're able to take your questions live. For those of you watching a rebroadcast, feel free to visit us at i25-university.com to learn more about the upcoming construction at Interstate 25 and University Avenue. This is the first of many meetings that will continue throughout construction, and its purpose is to keep you informed of the progress and to listen to your thoughts. We value your opinion. Tonight we're meeting at the Farm and Ranch Museum, where Spanish translation is available. To those watching via Comcast or Facebook, welcome. And feel free to provide us with comments or questions live tonight in one of several ways. Via email using contact@i25-university.com or on Facebook by searching for I-25-University Project. The New Mexico Department of Transportation and the contractor, La Calarita, are committed to reaching out to the public, and we hope you find this format helpful and engaging. Now let's begin with a pre-recorded broadcast. Welcome, Wyatt, and thank you for answering some questions we have about the project.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Okay, first question. Can you tell us why this project is needed?
This is part of a multi-phase effort to improve the I-25 corridor throughout Las Cruces. As we all know, the I-25 University interchange is one of the busiest segments in Las Cruces, with over 25,000 vehicles per day on University Avenue and 30,000 vehicles per day on I-25 within this segment. This project is really about three things: safety, traffic flow, and sustainability. To improve the safety, we're looking at reducing the congestion between I-25 and University and Loman. We all know that backs up, particularly in the mornings. And then we want to improve that weave distance as you exit from I-25 South and try to access the Pan Am Center or Travis there. We also are adding pedestrian facilities and multimodal facilities, which include bicycle lanes, sidewalks, and we're extending a trail system as well. We're also replacing an old bridge over I-25 and then adding more capacity by adding a dedicated lane into University. Some of the things that we're doing to promote sustainability is we're using the Envision process. This is very similar to the LEEDS process that's used for buildings. And it's the first that's been done in the state. And so what we're doing is we're using all of the recycled materials on site. So the old bridge will be crushed and used for backfill. The asphalt will all be recycled, and all of the concrete will be recycled. We're also using LED lights, which are more energy efficient. And then adding the trail system also promotes that sustainability. And then the traffic flow, one of the big things that we're doing on this is we're adding a direct connection on I-25 southbound into the campus at NMSU. So you no longer have to go up to University Avenue, go down to Travis and turn left. You can actually just go directly into the campus. While we're doing that, we're allowing for Travis traffic to go directly under University Avenue. And then we're installing new traffic signals at University and Travis, University and Don Roser, and then at the two off-ramps of I-25. And these will all be synchronized so that traffic can flow smoothly throughout the corridor. And then finally, we're designing this for a 20-year life so that hopefully traffic can flow and function for 20 years at this area before any major reconstruction is needed.
Well, impressive. Now I have to ask a very obvious question. There's been a lot of construction through the last years in Las Cruces, and people are tired of detours, orange barrels, backups, delays. Why are you building this now?
So really it comes down to growing pains. As we all know, the city of Las Cruces has grown a lot over the last decade. And really we've outgrown our infrastructure. Our roads are in need for expansion, for more capacity. A lot of them are failing from potholes and different things like that. And projects like these, they don't just develop overnight. They take years to develop. So this project we've been working on for 3 or 4 years. The DOT worked on it previously about 5 or 6 years ago. So it takes time to get the planning, the environmental documents done, all of the final design, public involvement, before actually construction goes on. And then you have to get funding lined up, and in New Mexico that's often the challenge, making sure that there's enough funding available for projects.
All right. Okay, when is it going to start and how long is it going to take?
Construction's going to start on January 2nd of 2020, so just about a month away, and it's supposed to take about 18 months, so it should be done in the summer of 2021.
So, would you take me through the major features of the design?
Sure. So one of the major features that we wanted to address with this project was direct access from I-25 South into the campus at NMSU. And so what we did is we developed a direct ramp so that you can go directly underneath University Avenue into a large roundabout there. You can still go up to University Avenue like you do now and turn left or right if you want to turn left and go to where we are at the Farm and Ranch Museum, or turn right and go further down University. You can still have that movement, but then it has that direct access directly into campus. And since we were putting in a bridge, we also provided direct access for Traverse. So right now you have to go, if you're on Traverse and you want to go to campus, you have to go to the signal at University Avenue and wait. And so what we did is we installed 2 roundabouts so that people, if they want to go into campus, they can simply go through those 2 roundabouts and into campus.
So where's the funding coming from?
So the funding is a combination of state funds and federal funds. So the NMDOT receives a federal allocation of funding, and some of the federal funding was applied to this project.
Can this project be built at night to minimize the impact on the residents?
So that's something we hear a lot with projects is, can we build this at night? And the answer to that is yes and no. A lot of the project will be built at night because, like when we have to hang girders over the I-25, we need to close I-25 during those times. And we want to close it at night where it's the least disruption as possible. Or when we're taking down the old bridge, we want to do that as well at night. So we want to make sure that every time we're really having a heavy impact on traffic, that it's at night when traffic volumes are lower. But we can't do the entire construction at night. One thing, it takes a lot of time for them to set their barriers in place. You guys will see there's concrete wall barrier throughout this project, not only to protect the drivers, but to protect the workers there as well. Yeah. And that doesn't just pick up and move easily. And then second, noise disturbance. There's 2 hotels in the area, and there's lots of residents in that area, and so lots of noise would be really disruptive to that area. And then one of the things that's important to the contractor is safety and productivity, and by doing things at night, you decrease the safety for the workers, and it does take longer, possibly twice as long.
Are you coordinating with NMSU, with the New Mexico State University, because they have events and they have games going on?
Yes, absolutely. NMSU has been one of our key stakeholders throughout the development of this project. We started early on meeting with them, and we've actually coordinated all special events so that one of the days that we're having a major detour or something going on doesn't correspond with an event that's going on at NMSU. And I believe NMSU is actually working with their students to give them additional notification through their portal that they have at NMSU.
Wyatt, is the City of Las Cruces involved in this project?
Yes, the city is involved. Just like NMSU, we had them involved as a stakeholder early on in the project. They've been helping us throughout the development of the project, even from selection of alternatives. They've actually given some money to this project for the landscaping, just about $1 million, so that it will be added to the landscaping and make this project much prettier. And then once the project is complete, the City of Las Cruces will maintain the traffic signals and the street lights, as well as Traverse Drive.
Okay. How will businesses be affected by this?
Well, businesses will always have access throughout construction. We're going to try to minimize the disruption to businesses as much as possible, but there is going to be disruption with any construction.
Sure.
We understand that, and I hope that all the businesses understand that. We've coordinated with them throughout the design so that they understand that this is coming, but we're going to maintain access, and if there's a specific problem or access isn't ever provided, please reach out to the NMDOT project manager, Ryan Tafoya, and he can definitely make sure that you get access. Okay.
How about the impact on the residents?
Residents are going to be very similar. We want them to stay informed as much as possible. So we have the website that's going to be set up that has information on it. It's i25-university.com. We also have a Facebook page and a Twitter feed, so people can go there and get information. And then we're going to have monthly public meetings so that people can be informed what's going on within the next month. We know things in construction change quickly from month to month, so we want to make sure we inform people as much as possible. But we also want people to understand that it is construction. There are going to be some delays at times. Speed's going to be reduced. So we really want people to stay safe, leave maybe 5 minutes early if you need to, just to make sure that you get through there and be patient.
Sure. Could you tell us again who's doing the construction?
So the contractor is La Carrerita Construction. They're out of Las Cruces, which is a good thing. We have a local contractor that's keeping local workforces busy and keeping that money here in town, and so we're excited about that, and we're excited about the team and the expertise that they have on this project.
Well, Wyatt, I really appreciate the input, and thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Dave.
Next, to give us a better understanding of what to expect during the upcoming construction on the I-25 University project, we have with us today Ryan Tafoya, the New Mexico Department of Transportation Project Manager for District 1. Ryan, welcome.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you coming here and clarifying, helping us understand what we're going to go through. So I have some questions. The first one would be, what are you doing to make it easier for the traffic and the travelers passing through the project area?
So building a project of this size and complexity, of course, isn't an easy task. It's not so much building the project, it's building the project and also facilitating the traveling public at the same time. There will definitely be some inconveniences to the traveling public, to the local businesses, and to the NMSU students for the next 18 months. We plan on keeping 2 lanes of I-25 open in each direction and 2 lanes of University open in each direction to the extent possible. Most of the construction will be done during the day. However, there will be some nighttime closures to facilitate the hanging of the girders for the new bridges, the demo of the old bridges, and possibly hanging some overhead signs.
Ryan, how is the construction being planned?
So the construction is being planned with 6 phases, with the 7th phase wrapping up the project. Some phases will overlap, and we will let the public know of any lane restrictions or detours. In the 4th phase, which is tentatively scheduled for the fall, the crews will be working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The 24-hour construction is scheduled because we will be closing the southbound I-25 off-ramp, and we will be detouring traffic through I-10 onto the University exit.
Okay. And when is the construction going to begin, and what can the public expect?
So the construction will be starting right after everybody gets back from New Year's. It's scheduled to start January the 2nd. For the first 2 weeks of the first phase, we will be building the inside left shoulder of the southbound I-25. So there will be a 1-lane closure in the southbound I-25 direction.
Sounds like a lot of construction. Can you tell me what the traffic impact is going to be during this time?
People will see work going on in multiple areas. The major traffic impact during this phase will be the northbound I-25 loop ramp, which will be closed. For the most part, all other lanes will be open, with the exception of the dual left-right turning lanes, which can be utilized instead of the loop ramp. Also, sidewalks will be closed on one side of University, and pedestrians will be detoured to the other side.
There are basketball games and cultural events at the Pan American Center, so how are you going to alleviate the problem there?
So we can't just pick up our barrels for these events. We have to keep construction going in order to get this project done in a reasonable amount of time. We are going to coordinate with New Mexico State University and the Pan Am Center, as well as law enforcement that can help minimize the inconvenience. But we do advise anyone attending these events to give yourself plenty of extra time to get there.
What else can drivers do to alleviate the problem?
We will be sending regular updates via email to anyone who wants them. People can sign up through our website, which is www.i25-university.com. We will also have project Facebook page and Twitter feed, and we'll send out information through social media. And we have a section on the website called Construction Updates, which we will be posting the latest media. I do have some advice for drivers. If you can take an alternate route and avoid the construction area, then do so. Give yourself some extra time to reach your destination, at least 15 minutes to half an hour anytime we change the phasing, which will take anywhere from about 7 to 10 days. It takes people a while to get used to the traffic barricades. Be aware if there's an accident or emergency in the construction area, it could delay even longer. Know that the posted speed limit signs are going to be lower in the construction zone and that you can be fined for exceeding those limits. Look out for construction signs and read those signs. Finally, be safe. There's workers that are out there. Their lives are important. The traveling public's lives are important. If you get in a rush and you get in an accident, it's just going to cause more of a delay.
Ryan, do you have any final remarks?
The New Mexico Department of Transportation, our contractor La Calerita, our engineers and Molson and Corbin, and our many other subcontractors want this project to go well, but we need everyone's help. Use extra caution when you are in the construction zone, read the signs, and please be patient. Don't take your frustration out on the workers who are just trying to do their jobs. Send your questions, comments, complaints via our website, and I promise we will respond. Finally, we are scheduling our public meetings for the first Thursday of every month, beginning in February. We will let everyone know as soon as we have a location and the times are locked down.
Ryan, thank you for giving us a better picture on what to expect in the upcoming construction project. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you.
All right, folks, we're open to questions. If you speak up, ma'am.
Whose idea was it to start this now? No, we have already had.
I'm sorry. You have to come here.
I talk very loud.
No, but the people at home can't see you. They can't.
They don't need to see.
Can we just take the microphone out?
Oh,
We already have
hold on.
25 in Main Street, Torno. And now you're taking, we have 3 entrances from 25 in Las Cruces. Main Street, Loman, University. Now we're gonna have them on either end. We're gonna be bookmarked.
The question is, why are we doing this? Whose idea was this?
I mean, at this point in time, could
Yes,
we
ma'am.
not have finished one before we start another?
Okay. Who would like to answer this one?
I can't.
Okay.
So,
You never really see.
So just to let you know, US 70 is supposed to be scheduled to finish in about a month or so. So we should be wrapping up US 70 by the time this project really gets underway.
Valley was supposed to take 18 months.
Well, the Valley is actually still on schedule. We're actually finishing a little bit ahead of schedule.
Oh, you're kidding.
No,
Wow. Well, then you didn't tell the businesses or the people in Las Cruces it was going to take that long.
In defense, it is necessary to fix things before they totally collapse also.
I totally agree. I just
A
don't
necessary
understand
evil.
why we would be on both
I hear
ends of
you.
our city.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, who else has a question? Okay, we'll go to you first and then I'll come back to you. Can you give us your name too? Just say your
My name is Thomas Porter. My question is this. All that construction that went on 2 or 3 years ago down south, couldn't some of this been incorporated at that time?
Good question. Who'd like to handle that one? Engineer, project manager? The question is about projects that were down south. Why couldn't this be incorporated into that?
So are you specifically talking about the work at I-10 and I-25?
About 2 miles out here, I-10 comes into I-25. And there's a beautiful access to the southern part of the campus. The ways you could get on and off of interstate at that time, I would have thought. My question is, was there any thought given to incorporate your project into that project?
So part of it has to do with the funding that was mentioned earlier. So that project was very costly. This project is about $34 million. So part of it is the funding, but also is part of the phasing of this interchange. So if you recall, a few years ago, we did the east side of this interchange to address some of the ramps, some of the improvements on that side. Now we're doing the west side. So really it's a matter of timing and funding.
I kind of mentioned this out in the hallway of the train, but my comment is, I understand you're doing a lot of work on the west side of the university, all justified, again, very proud. But on the east side with Los Alturas and university, they're not hardly touching that at all. And there's a lot of traffic for all those residences that live back in the Sundance acres and Los Alturas acres and all those areas. We're not doing anything there, or very, very little. And the traffic's only going to be more congested as that goes out. A suggestion to the design is contemplate not putting an on-ramp from I-25 north Los Alturas either under university or over university to alleviate a lot of that congestion that goes on Los Alturas, because that's only a two-lane road. And as you know, as they build uptown for university, that's going to add a lot more congestion than it's already there. So I guess my whole comment is, although all the west side is being taken care of at the university, there's not enough being done, not nearly enough being done on the east side. I don't know if that's a separate project, but if it is, I think that should be fast-paced for actually adding to this project.
The main question is the east side university isn't being addressed, correct? Los Alturas, okay, but who wants to answer that one?
Just to address a lot of that, we did traffic modeling for 20 years. So we had a traffic model, we went out and did counts all over this area in Las Cruces. And so really traffic, we're trying to model for the average day peaks for AM and PM. And so we're projecting that out. And obviously, if we all knew what Las Cruces was going to do, just like the stock market, we could know exactly how things were going to grow and develop. So what we found during our modeling was that east side of I-25 and Los Alturas specifically functions at an acceptable level of service. And an acceptable level of service is a level of service of D or higher, so it's rated on an A through F system. And so it's a delay of less than 60 seconds basically at a signal. And so some of the other things that are going on with Aggie Uptown, I know you mentioned that, is there are improvements going on at that intersection of Los Alturas and University as part of the project, so that they're actually adding lanes to Los Alturas at that intersection to address some of that. But as far as an actual ramp directly from Los Alturas onto I-25, at this time, and with our projections, there wasn't a warrant for that for the next 20 years.
Robert Lewis. So let me ask you this. Obviously, this concept's going to benefit NMSU, but what's going on with the way this town is growing eastbound that's going to benefit Loman, Spruce, 70? You see what I'm saying? Because I live in the Missouri area, and it seems when I leave my office, I'm a taxpayer here, self-employed, when I leave my office to go to my house, it's easier for me to get on I-10, get on 25 next to University than go up Loman or Trevize. You know what I'm saying? One of the furnished roads.
Can you repeat his question?
So he was asking, this project is specifically addressing some of the issues at I-25 and University, some of the accesses into NMSU. Was there any consideration or what's being done to address the Missouri, Telshore, Loman, Spruce intersections? So this one is specifically, like you mentioned, focusing directly on this interchange. I know that long term, there are some studies taking place for Missouri to be extended further east. We actually are moving forward with, as a department, looking at a corridor study on I-25, basically from Loman north to Doniana, to consider a 6-lane, very similar to what we did between university enrollment, but again, that's on the interstate system. The local streets, Spruce, I know there's been discussions about potential crossing in the grid that goes underneath. All of those are city routes, not DOT. I know we coordinate with the city, and we are on this one as well. But this one's addressing the interstate system, not necessarily those local facilities. But I know long term, they are trying to address some of those local concerns.
Thank you, Richard Mark. There's another construction project happening on Telshore and University. Big retail building back there. I was just wondering if it was a coordination of efforts regarding traffic control.
I don't know if there's anybody here from NMSU. All of that work at Telshore and University is being managed by the university. If they aren't finished by the time we start our work, and I don't know if you know what their schedule is, but we won't have a choice but to coordinate traffic control. So if our plans were to initiate, for instance, a lane closure before we got to that, we'll have to find a way to coordinate to extend that.
The answer is no.
Pardon?
So the answer is no. There has not been any coordination.
Speaking from my level as district engineer, I would say no. Aaron or Ryan, do you know if we've had any discussions with NMSU? No. So I'll be sure that coordination takes place. Jerry?
Jerry Constable and Corporate Associates. I work with Mr. Karcher. And so this project, as was alluded to earlier, initiated 4 years ago. And the City of Las Cruces and the Department of Transportation and NMSU have been in constant coordination for that entire time. Part of it is exactly when and how and where, and this contract was initially let this summer. And so the initial concept would be that this project would be underway. The contractor and the Department of Transportation agreed to allow the contractor to fabricate their retaining walls off-site and have them ready to be installed day one to shorten the construction period and the construction phasing. So all of that, we've done the high-level coordination as far as the three partners working together, but facilities that are going on commercially, and specifically with commercial, that's going to be real-time coordination, on-ground coordination. The three partners are already working together, and that will just be an implementation of that phase.
It sounds like the heart of the project is phase 4. Can we talk about what's going to be in phase 1, 2, and 3, and the dates that those are going to happen?
So I can tell you as much as I can remember. So the biggest impact, and I think the thing that we want to really emphasize tonight, is phase 1, which is going to take place starting on January 2nd. And I would encourage you guys to come back and keep in tune for the next month, because we're going to continue to update things throughout. I know phase 4 seems like the doom and gloom one, but it's months and months away. So the thing that we're really going to start with is on January 2nd, they're going to close one lane on I-25 southbound just past the University exit. They're going to close that, the fast lane or the inside lane, for about 2 weeks while they pave that inside shoulder by I-25. And then once that shoulder is paved, I think there's a culvert extension or something that needs to go on there. Then they're going to open I-25 back up to 2 lanes of traffic. And then there's wall that's going to go up and other detours, you're going to see barrels and things like that. But the traffic patterns and traffic flow is mainly the same for the next few months after that.
Also, if I can add, we do have a project status section on the website, and that lists all the phases, what's included in construction, and what the anticipated traffic impacts are. So you can check that out, or you can contact us through the website if you want that in writing, or whatever, and we'll be glad to get it to you. It has anticipated dates by month. Now, the phases overlap, so, you know, it's not going to be one phase ends and another starts. The phases will overlap, correct?
Chris Filios, asking for a friend. Will access to I-25 be available throughout all the phases, from University to I-25 in either direction?
So Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is that all access will be there except for in phase 4, when we go close the southbound off-ramp to University, where we do the tie-in. At that point, the detour will lead to University and I-10, and then back up University to the campus.
When is phase 4?
Fall. The other thing I would expect that we'll do is probably give some notice prior to the Loman interchange, so that if someone wants to exit at Loman and then use local streets to get to the campus, that may be something to consider. But in my mind, using I-10 to University is still probably more appropriate.
We have some questions from the viewers. Number one, how is your project? We have questions from the viewers. How is the project being paid for?
So we receive federal funding, but with each dollar of federal funding, there's about a 15% state funding match. So it's state and federal funding split.
How much does the project cost?
About $34 million total.
Pelosi approved this?
I'm sorry.
Pelosi approved this?
Was you approve this? Doubtful.
Next question.
Yeah, the next question.
How will you let people know about construction impacts? The monthly meetings from the website, okay? Question 3, are you coordinating with New Mexico State University? We've answered that. How are you going to handle their games and special events? From what I understand, they'll be notified. You'll limit or stop construction during those events and let the folks know about it.
We won't stop construction because we can't, once you put a big concrete barricade down, you can't just pick them up, put them down, pick them up. But we are coordinating with them to try to, as I think Ryan said, avoid major events on the same days they have major events. We are also working with them on and their police on how we can control traffic and hopefully get people in and out.
Okay, number 4, is the city of Las Cruces involved? Okay, yes, that's been answered. What can't construction be done at night?
Already answered that one too.
That's with the girders that are hanging, dangerous things, okay. Okay. Does the project include anything for local intersections?
Yes, so we have improvements at Las Alturas and University, and then we have improvements at Travis and University to add turn lanes and different things, and new signals.
Next one, will Travis Trail remain open during construction?
There will be times that the Travis Trail will be closed. There's going to be signing, I believe, at Missouri, if I remember correctly, as to what that detour route is. There will always be pedestrian access, but there will be detours just like traffic.
How are NMSU students going to be affected by this construction?
Students are going to be affected just like all the other drivers. I mean, as a student, we're going to have to try to inform them, and I think NMSU is going to do that through their notification system that they have as to when major changes are going to occur.
One more from the public. How safe are these changes supposed to be for drivers after the project? safety after the project?
Safety is always our number one concern from at the DOT level, and then as a consultant and an engineer, that's our highest priority. With the roundabouts, those are some of the safest intersections that you can design. You eliminate a lot of the conflict points, and then by eliminating the backup and the congestion on I-25, a lot of those rear ends that occur currently should be eliminated.
Okay, from the audience.
What about drainage? I think I didn't see any retention ponds or drainage ponds. I think I read somewhere you're putting them underground. You're going to move all that water underground or away from it in another fashion?
So what we've done is we've tried to use water harvesting as much as possible on this project. So where we can put water and water the landscaping, we'll do that. But knowing the way it rains in Las Cruces, we get all of our rain in 3 days and we get way too much of it. We do have drainage ponds on site. We located them in different quadrants of the intersection so that we can drain all of that water to there. We do have a small storm drain system that's being installed to carry that water to those ponds. No.
You just couldn't see it on the...
No, sir.
That model. Thank you. Well, thank you.
I just have a question about your comment here on continuation of the multi-use Traverse Trail. That wasn't mentioned in your construction. Is that done on the right-of-way or is that done on the city property? And if it extends, where does it extend to?
So the trail actually now it's going to go underneath the bridge that we're going to put underneath University Avenue, and then it goes along the west side of Traverse to the Sesparo Park, which is right next to the parking lots at the Pan Am Center. Well, it'll tie to that trail system that NMSU has at that point.
My name is Oscar Andrade. I own the Pickwick stores. To reiterate, the first question is why start in 30 days on a new project when you haven't finished up 2 other major projects? My store on Avenue of Mesilla and I-10 has been destroyed and has been and will continue to be obviously for another 18 months. My store on Del Rey and Highway 70 is pretty much shut down with traffic up there. This, I know it's coming, but again, I'm surprised it's coming so quickly. I do see a major design flaw in the brief moments I had to look at the drawings outside, and I wish you all had them up here. The people coming off, heading northbound on I-25 that come off of the exit and onto University, currently they can cross University and continue north onto I-25. And the way it looks now, and the comments that were made by Trent and Brian, where people can come up off the freeway, go to University, take a right-hand turn on University, make a U-turn on Don Roser by my Pickwick, and then go back on. Well, that's absolutely ridiculous. And also, when you shut down the bridges at nighttime, the overpasses, or when it's shut down completely, and people have no choice but to exit I-25 onto University, how are you going to get that traffic northbound again?
So we've actually designed that so that it's not traversable like by an everyday person. It's a mountable curb actually through there, so that what we were particularly designing it for was for an oversized load that needed to go through there so that they would continue to have that access. That's such a minor movement in the overall things that we looked at it, and from an overall design standpoint with the Federal Highway Administration, they weren't concerned about that crossing movement directly across. And then, like you said, people can, if they do accidentally get off of the interstate, they can go make a U-turn, go fill up with gas and get a burrito and then get back on the interstate. So well, I think that the possibility of a 18-wheeler taking the wrong exit and having to make that movement is probably a pretty minimal chance.
experience in building a project this size?
So as was mentioned, Toby and his company are local. They built the I-10 Avenida de Mesilla. They have staff on hand who were involved in they didn't build it directly, but they have staff on hand who built the I-10, I-25 interchange. Tom, Saeed, what else have you all built locally? Oh, Union, Doniana. So they've built several projects, and that's just locally. Anybody that's been on I-25 north, at Limitar, north of Socorro, they weren't the prime, but they built all of the bridges on that project as well. They do typically specialize in bridge construction, but they've recently purchased their own paving equipment, that kind of stuff. So they're familiar with all aspects of this project. So I can repeat it. It was a pretty simple question. How many employees do we expect to have on this project? Tom or Saeed, how many people do you think you'll employ between your prime and your subs? So he's saying there's about 12 to 15 subcontractors. But Saeed, you'll have more than 40 employees on the project between you and your subs, correct? I mean, total employees. I would guess. I think Saeed's being very conservative. I would think that we'll probably have. They're very efficient workers.
Okay.
I have a non-related question. So the I-25, I-10 was the embankment not done right or something? Because that, all of there's south to get to.
There's always what?
So if you don't mind, maybe I'll address that afterwards, just because it was a separate project and Molzen designed that one as well. So we can just talk about that one a little bit afterwards, if that's okay.
George Pearson. First, I'd like to comment a little bit on one of the other questions about the local impact of traffic. The Metropolitan Planning Organization is currently working on their Metropolitan Transportation Plan, which is a 5-year plan that will look at all these issues. So now is the time, if you have concerns about traffic, the Loman Corridor, the Solano, or the Spruce, whatever those, you should participate in the public meetings that are happening and contact the Metropolitan Planning Organization office and add your inputs there. My question has to do, on the Valley Drive project, there was a lot of issues with utilities, and that's what caused a lot of delays on the project. How much utility impact is there going to be with this project?
Well, one of the very good things about this project is there's not very many utilities in here. Valley Drive was really unique in that it was built in the 50s, and that was one of the major thoroughfares through Las Cruces. And with the Valley Drive project, we were actually installing new utilities, so a deep storm drain system, sanitary sewer, things like that. But on the university project, especially since it's a crossing of I-25, there's very few utilities. There's some lighting. We are working with the city of Las Cruces, and they're going to replace their gas line and water line in Travis, but it'll be concurrent with construction. But other than that, there's really no utilities in conflict.
If I make a mistake and exit going north on I-25, and I end up going up to University, and I want to get back on I-25, it looks like your model provides for direct going right across and get back on the access back to North I-25. But this picture does not show that, which is correct.
So the model was basically just to give you a general idea of how this was going to look. The picture up here is actually what it will look
So my next question is, how do I get back on I-25?
So you'll have to go either you'll have to turn left or right when you get there and go make a U-turn somehow and get back on I-25.
Why don't you just have a straight guard go across?
From a traffic design standpoint, it doesn't function as well. And so we didn't want to encourage that movement. And because the number of people that make a wrong exit is very, very few compared to the 25,000 people that use University Avenue every day.
Yeah, so if you look at the loop ramp that's there, it free flows. So you can head north towards Albuquerque and get on the loop ramp, and it free flows without having to go through a traffic signal. If we put a turn like there is now, then in the opposing direction would require that additional 30 seconds or however much time you phase for that traffic to turn left. Left-hand turns kill intersections. So if we can eliminate a left-hand turn, it makes everybody else in every direction flow that much faster.
I wish I had a pointer, but as Joan...
There's
okay, look at that.
there's here, you can turn left in here, but you cannot turn left in this direction.
So why not...
So if you exit north here, you would take a U-turn, get back on this ramp and head on out. That would be the preferred method.
Which is a disaster. So why not put a signalized intersection and let them continue northbound?
That's what I'm saying. If you put a signal and you put a direct left on at that location, for those traffic, they have a free flow movement without any encumbrances. In addition, it frees up the traffic going in here from having to wait for all those left-hand turns.
They don't have free flow because if you're coming north off of that exit 25 and you go left onto University, there's no free flow because you have opposing traffic on both directions.
Yeah, there's a signal here, and there's a signal here.
I'm talking about on the intersection this gentleman just mentioned, and I mentioned.
This intersection right here?
Yes. Right up.
It is signalized.
Well, but again, there's no free-flowing traffic going northbound again. And you're mistaken that people don't get off the wrong exit and looking for hotels and such.
If they're looking for hotels, they'll come like they normally do. If they're looking for your Pickwick, they'll just come in here.
I'm not worried about my Pickwick. I'm worried about the traffic and the accidents. And again, I am worried about someone make a U-turn on Don Roser, which is the north side, and Treviso, or I'm sorry, heading south. So.
Any more questions, folks? Wrap it up. Okay, folks, this concludes the question and answer portion of the meeting, but you can still email your questions to contact@i25-university.com, and you'll get a response. Our goal is to keep you informed, so please visit our website at i25-university.com and join us at our monthly meetings that will continue throughout construction. I'd like to thank our viewers, our meeting participants, our experts, and everyone involved. We'll take your feedback and suggestions and use them to help make this construction process as smooth as possible. Again, thank you, good night, and remember, your streets and your business.